Hi there, my name is Phillip Simpson and I'm with Dell's Cloud Services sales team. I'd like to spend a few minutes today talking about some of the key security features of our vCloud public infrastructure as a service platform. Now in this slide I'll focus just on the top box, really the security components that we think differentiates this offering in the marketplace. Perhaps the most important component that I think really sets the platform apart is the fact that it's monitored and managed 24/7 by Dell SecureWorks. Dell SecureWorks, if you look at this Gartner chart, really sets itself out front in the security marketplace. They manage some of the largest financial and really sensitive network infrastructure in the world, and they also take those lessons learned, those skill sets, and those security operations centers and manage Dell's public cloud offering. And we'll touch upon that a bit later in the presentation. We've combined that SecureWorks overarching monitoring with VMware's vShield technology embedded into the platform. And vShield, at its very heart, is focused on separation within a multi-tenant environment. So we leverage vShield to ensure that each customer within public cloud has no visibility or no access to any other customers within public cloud. Not just from a security point of view, although that is very important, but also from a performance and shared resource point of view. We certainly don't want one customer who's consuming a lot of resources to limit access to those resources to another customer. So vShield helps enforce that separation at all software layers. On the hardware side, Dell of course has embedded many of our own technologies into this platform, things like the Force 10 network components or compellent and equilogic storage on the storage side of this platform. Now, the vCloud infrastructure has been secured through multiple layers to enhance the overall security stature of the platform. At the very bottom of this slide, in the green box, we have a variety of physical security features. Things like the physical compliance and certifications each data center has, and those will vary by region, but the staffing within those data centers, things like the man traps and biometrics to ensure limited access to any areas within the facility that may contain customer virtual machines or customer equipment. The purple box in the middle is really focused on some of the software and managed features of the platform that enhance the segregation within vCloud. On the right hand side, two of the key components that VMware supplies is really that vShield separation of the virtual machines and vApps themselves. Each customer is given a virtual data center which contains any number of vApps, and of course a vApp is simply a grouping of virtual machines. But those virtual data centers are kept separate logically from each other through the components called vShield within the platform. The networking components, of course, also have to be separate. So each customer is given their own isolated VLAN segment. Customers can bring their own IP addresses, and they can even extend those VLAN segments back to their own private network through IPsec tunneling, or perhaps through a private connection that Dell can supply. SecureWorks, on the other hand, enhances both of those components by providing 24/7 monitoring and management of all the security components of the platform out of the 5 global operation centers that they operate. Embedded into the solution are intrusion detection and intrusion prevention devices who are not only watching for any attack or any malicious traffic coming in from the internet, but perhaps more importantly are watching for anything happening within vCloud, perhaps a sign of one customer trying to access another customer's VLAN. Those IDS and IPS components are enforcing that separation 24/7. Now all the traffic logs, syslogs, IDS signatures, these are managed by SecureWorks, but constantly the components in the platform are feeding real-time events back to SecureWorks. And they're known throughout the industry for their ability to filter through all the noise, all the legitimate activities that are happening, and finding and acting upon only the ones that are illegitimate. So SecureWorks is really there not just to keep the bad information out, but to enforce and secure our customers within the shared vCloud infrastructure. We complement that with third-party auditing and penetration tests. So we even watch the watchers and make sure the SecureWorks and the vCloud infrastructure itself is monitored and managed by Dell and Dell staff, but that is checked by external groups. Now, before I touch upon the top pink box here, I wanted to bring up a quick console and show you how some of these vShield components and those virtual firewalls I talked about, how they look. So you'll see my web browser coming up here. And what I'm going to show you is just some of the very basic ways that a customer can change and interact with the dedicated security components that each customer receives. So I'm going to edit one of the networks that each customer is given and show you the firewall screen. So on this screen, customers can set their own firewall rules, both inbound and outbound. It's called a 5-tuple firewall. They can, of course, specify which ports, destinations, anything that they would like, and create those rules and manage them themselves. So no need to call Dell support to change a firewall. Each customer gets their own vShield Edge appliance, which allows them to make those changes. We do include 10 public IPs with each customer deployed, and of course additional IPs are available for purchase. But customers can choose how to use those IPs. Perhaps dedicating one to a web server and doing one-to-one NAT mapping, or opening up individual ports and bringing those ports in to the environment that they control on the inside. I mentioned earlier, one of the most important features of the Dell platform is this hybrid approach, allowing customers to keep some of their virtual machines in their own private environment as they would traditionally, but move other virtual machines out to Dell's public cloud. They also have the ability here to connect those two together, creating a hybrid cloud. So they can spin up in real time, and again through the interface, site-to-site VPNs, either between different VDCs within vCloud, or perhaps more commonly, the ability to connect back to their own private network or their remote network. And we support not just AES and triple DES, but AES 256 for that maximum level of security. And of course, if you are going to start bringing up, whether it's a software IPsec tunnel or perhaps a private connection link like MPLS, you also control your own static routing. So customers can decide which traffic is allowed to go on that interconnect in the first place. If I jump back to PowerPoint, we can show you the final feature that I want to focus on, which is really data encryption. Now, encryption comes up in a variety of questions from customers, but when I think about it, perhaps the most important message that security enables us to say is the ability to guarantee that Dell, who is the underlying service provider, does not have access to customers' virtual machines. This is an optional component. Of course, customers can bring their own encryption in if they prefer. But what makes this offering unique is it's done through a partnership with Trend Micro. Trend Micro operates their own data centers, and the keys, the encryption keys themselves, are hosted by Trend Micro in their data center, and Dell only hosts the encrypted information in our data center. What that means is Dell employees simply don't have the two components they would need to look at customers' information. Since they don't have the encryption keys, they can't open up the encrypted information. So this separation of duties really allows customers to have the confidence to put compliance or more sensitive information into public cloud, knowing that not even Dell, who's hosting the information, has the ability to access it. If you'd like more information on the platform itself or any of these security features, please go to www.dell.com/vcloud. There's a variety of white papers and demos on there, as well as the ability to get in touch with Dell sales to purchase the underlying platform. Thank you very much for your time today. Goodbye.